No, we're back on Coast to Coast. Will you look at that? The top 5 overall picks in the 2003 draft. 46 All-Star games and 28 All-NBA teams between them, and not one of those nods belonged to Darko Milicic. Hindsight was never going to favor the 7-foot Serb, not coming out of that class, but the unequivocal gold standard in draft busts who spent 10 seasons in the NBA as the human victory cigar is not without blame, as he admitted to our Sam Borden in the E60 feature, Finding Darko. And joining us here on set, let's talk about the injury. Where are we at right now?
Options.
Okay.
Look, the Dolphins are sincere and genuine.
Last December, that knee injury, and considering that this new injury was based on a non-contact drill, are we to believe that that injury is a holdover from last season?
Well,
names being thrown around as well. We already know that Matt Moore is there in place, but now Jay Cutler's name has popped up quite a bit to throw names out there. Anytime anybody's hurt, you know inevitably we'll start talking about Colin Kaepernick as well. So his name being thrown out. Here's the front of the
football decision. You certainly cannot ignore Kaepernick's potential and abilities. So
you can't.
It's complicated, and I'm glad I'm not making any of the decisions down there in South Florida right now.
That's really what this whole thing comes down to, right? Are you making a football decision? Are you making an emotional decision? Because football-wise, Kaepernick, the resume is there. He's 4-2 in the playoffs. To Jay Cutler's what?
I think the good news is when we talk about this.
Speaking of being vocal, Eagle safety skill set, that he'd have to be a very specific fit on an offense to really be of value to that offense. Let's just talk fit alone in Miami. Does he fit there? And based on what they do, would you know him, we'll say a serious chip on your shoulder.
Absolutely.
To have that much motivation to want to come back and play every single year.
He still uses that 6th-round, 199th pick. He still uses it as motivation.
5 Super Bowls is not enough. Let somebody else eat. I do want to get to a bit of a serious subject because there was a serious topic that was broached. Actually, our Mike Reese asked this question about CTE. Take a listen. He brings up the, try to be proactive about your health when what's become difficult with CTE is that it's really hard to be proactive about something that you can't diagnose until someone has already passed and moved on. And again, now that we know this information, it becomes, as you said, really a risk-reward, right, balance. And also knowing that this could affect you at some point in your life, being able to take a bit of a proactive approach as well, I imagine.
Oh,
right? Damian Woody, thank you for joining us, talking a little NFL. We've got a lot ahead here on Coast to Coast. On television, and I'm going to ask you this next question. I want you to speak slowly because I'm going to tweet it as you answer. 27 days.
Yeah, you can tweet, Elle, since we're live.
27 days before the start of CFB season. What are you doing right now just to take your mind off all things football? In about as south of America as you can possibly be. Texas hosting Maryland on September 2nd. Coach Tom Herman, thanks for having a little fun with us. I will now let you go so I can tweet everything you just said. Difference between his former life and his current one.
The biggest difference, I think.
So what are his future plans for his life?
It's funny. He's an apple farmer.
And let me just say, while I, kind of made light of who was in his draft class, he has a ring. Carmelo Anthony does not, although he doesn't have the ring.
I was going to say, he sold that ring. He said he did.
Was on that Detroit Pistons team that won, and he played 5 minutes in the finals. So we won, and Brett Favre was with the Packers, right? It was all good.
It was the best. There was nobody more fun to watch play than Brett Favre. That's why I was number 4 in Varsity Blues.
You missed out on 5. You mentioned Varsity Blues, and you play one of the most iconic quarterbacks in fictional history, right? Hollywood history. So our top 5 today is the top 5 fictional quarterbacks in history, and you came up with the list and I came up with the list. Okay. And what we do is you give your list, I'll give mine, and then we have an esteemed colleague who's going to join, and he's going to judge whose list is best. Are you ready?
All right.
You run down your top 5.
All right, my top 5, and these are.
Well, I'll probably never see him again. But the chutzpah of putting yourself in the list, that won me over. James wins easily. I mean, you got to love that.
What would Diplo? Thanks again to James Vanderbeek. What would Diplo do airing on Viceland right now? We're out. Go talk fantasy.